welcome on this beautiful sunny day. Sing, 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 sing. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song. Spirit says to sing your song. Let's sing our song. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song. Spirit says to sing your song. You've got to sing your song. You've got to sing your song as if your whole life depend on it. Depend on it. You've got to sing your song as if your whole life depend on it. Depend on it. Sing of the one life that is so beautiful and depend on it. Depend on it. Sing of the one life that is so beautiful and depend on it. Depend on it. Sing of the one life that is so complete and depend on it. Depend on it. Sing of the one life that is so complete and depend on it. Depend on it. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song. Spirit says to sing your song. Who's gonna sing our song? Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song, do it. Spirit says to sing your song. Spirit says to sing your song. Yeah.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We welcome you this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland as we gather in a mindset. Spirit says to sing our song. Spirit says to sing our song. It may not have felt like that this week. It may have felt like something else, but the truth is there is a divine presence and power that we can stand within, knowing that it moves through us and that we are anchored in that with an eternal song. With a soul that says yes, with a heart that says yes, with an ability to allow the world to move around us and to stand in the song of life, of love, of presence. So as we gather this morning, and whether you're in this space or you're part of our virtual family, I just invite you to know life is consciousness. There's a lot going on out there, but the truth is life is lived from the inside out. So we're going to begin our service in prayer. I want to start with Rumi said, whoever you are and whatever you do, be in love. Sometimes that's more difficult than ever. Anybody have a tough time this week? Okay, two people. A lot of people, I think, the breaking open that's happening around us, there's a call of something more. There is a call of something more. We don't need to know. I'd like to know what it is, where it goes, how we respond. But what I know is that within our hearts are answers. There's an evolutionary movement. There's that pure potentiality of spirit that continues to guide us. And so in just a moment, when we open this service in prayer, my invitation every Sunday is if there's a place that you have closed down, if there's part of your heart and your being that you've just said, it's too scary, I don't know what to do, I just invite you to open and allow your consciousness and your being to move into that center. We have come, we're humanity born into this time and this place for a purpose and a path, and we're on it. So let's begin this service in prayer, moving into that infinite space, and we just open, saying, Infinite Spirit, pure presence, Father, Mother, God, this essence of the divine within us, around us, that creates all. We open, and we say, here I am. Remind me of the truth of my being. That song that I have come to sing, the love that I have come to share, the knowing that is present and available. And I am open and receptive to this divine wisdom, this spirit of truth, and I allow a falling away of smaller stories, of fear, of things that hold me back, knowing that pure life, love, presence, and power are available in this moment. We encircle every being in this country. So much fear, so much concern, so much worry. We simply hold a consciousness, a surrounding in love of all that is. We are open and receptive to God's living spirit of truth, moving in and through and as us now. For this opportunity to gather with an intention to open, to let go, and to answer that call. We say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. Amen. All right, Beth.
Good morning. I'm Beth O'Shields, and it's always a privilege to stand up here and present what's happening in our spiritual community, and we've got a lot going on. All right, so, as Lisa said, it may have been a heavy week for some of you, and if it has been, please know our prayer chaplains are here today to pray with you if you have something on your heart. Affirmative prayer is the basis of our ministry here, and today we have Lisa and Sherry who are available for you up front here after the service. You can always submit a prayer request as well, and those are in the backs of your chairs and on the lobby table, and we have a prayer box right here. You can slip those in after the service. We have our Dial-A-Prayer, which is available during the week for a beautiful, inspiring message. We have some magnets with that number on it out on the table you can pick up. And our Sunday morning guided meditations are at 10:30 on Sunday morning in the chapel, and I heard it was full this morning. So yeah, I think a lot of people are needing that calm centering, and we have that for you, and you can do that with us at 10:30 on Sundays. And if you want to activate those 12 powers, that study group happens right before that at 9:15, and you can come and join Annette. That is a weekly class. You don't have to register. There's no charge for it. Just come and join in that wonderful study group. So first, I have to apologize in advance. Our lift is out of divine order today. And I tried really hard to get somebody here this week to look at it, and they can't come until Tuesday. So if you're a person who uses the lift, we apologize in advance. Maybe you can twist somebody's arm to bring you up a cup of coffee and a cookie. So anyway, our great annual book sale with the teens begins in a couple of weeks. And they're still collecting your books. If that's something that you haven't done yet, this is your nudge. This is your week to do it and get them in here. You can bring them next Sunday, which is the last day that they really want to take them. You can bring them in during the week. We're here 10 to 4, Monday through Thursday. So consider doing that this week and getting those together. So yeah, February's here. I've been threatening that for a couple of weeks, and it's here now. And our Legacy Circle is bringing you a couple of workshops this month, which are pretty exciting. The first one is this coming Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon. It is a basic estate planning workshop. And, this is just addressing the importance of a will. We all need to have a plan. You don't want to leave it to your loved ones, all those tasks of untangling your affairs. So come and get your questions answered. Bring your questions. You can find out how you can make sure your desires are met. You're never too young to figure all this out. It's adulting. I know we don't all like to do it, but it's important that we do. So anyway, consider that. And then for the fall, and it's open to all individuals and couples, as is the second workshop, which is the following Saturday on February the 8th, 11:15 a.m. in the chapel. This is a green burial workshop. And a lot of you asked for this after the last will workshop. This came up and was of importance, and it is of importance. And the Riverview Cemetery, which is a community cemetery here in Portland, has pioneered environmentally friendly burial options. So you can come and learn more about that. You know, it's wonderful that we have offerings that not only support us on our spiritual journey, but also for living in the world, which is a reality, right? And it's wonderful to learn how to do this practically and with some foresight. So we invite you to join us. Sign-up sheets for both of these opportunities are out on the lobby table. Our current events book study on Thursdays at 1:30 is continuing. It's here in person only. You don't have to be a regular attendee. You can stop in anytime and join in. And you know, they're having some real valuable discussions in there. No matter what part of that book, they're studying on tyranny. You don't have to buy the book. They're reading it in the group. And but yeah, every week there's something. And it's just real inspiring. So if you feel so led, that's Thursdays at 1:30. You know, now's the time to connect with community. We all know that, right? It's very important right now. We have a lot of ways for you to do that. Today, the LGBTQ plus group meets in the chapel. They're doing something called a soul collage, which is using their inner support system. And it's also, this group is open to allies. And we know there are many of you out there, and they invite you to come and join them. You know, support for them is pretty valuable right now. So if you feel so led, they're going to meet in the chapel around 12:45 today, and you're welcome to join them. Our spirit groups are gearing up. February the 23rd is the kickoff for that, and Reverend Lisa will be using The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown. And these groups are a real place to experience connection with people, make long-time friendships, supportive people on your path. We will start registrations next week. Annette is still needing some leaders for this group. Annette, are you in here somewhere? Stand up. She's in the back corner. There she is. That's Annette. And if you feel so led, we need some leaders. We need some group leaders. It's super easy. There's training. There's study guides. You can do it on Zoom. You can do it on person here at Unity. You can do it in your home. We have Patricia leads a wonderful group in her home over in Vancouver. So, you know, if you live across the water or something, you know, you can do it in your home. You're welcome to do that. But please talk to Annette today, and if you're someone who can do that, because we do like to offer as many opportunities during the week to have these groups. So we thank you in advance for that. And you know, another way that we need connection is by having fun. And we are going to have fun on Saturday night, March 1st, when we turn Fellowship Hall downstairs into the Big Easy again. We're going to have a wonderful Mardi Gras party, and tickets go on sale in the next week or two. Colleen is working on that now, putting together a wonderful menu. We're going to have fortune telling, a 50-50 raffle, mask making. We're going to have music. And the teens, I think, are going to help us out. They're talking about that. So it might be a month away, but Colleen's coordinating the menu and all. So Colleen, stand up so they know who you are. So yeah, that's Colleen. Give her a hand, yes. We're going to have tickets on sale soon, but do consider supporting her. So, you know, another way, we love food here. We love eating. We love sharing on Sunday mornings. That's kind of a thing. People, do you all love Coffee and Connection on Sunday mornings? Yes? Yes? Okay. Well, if you want it to continue the way it is, we need some help. I'm just saying, we just have a lot of holes down there. It takes about 6 people a week to put that on. We have 3 people for setup, 3 people for cleanup. It takes a lot more food than that if we're going to keep it at the level that it is now. I tell people every week it's not lunch. It's something to hold you over to lunch. So you don't have to bring a lot of food or anything, but they do need help. And I'm going to be downstairs with a sign-up sheet today, and I hope you'll come and talk to me if this is something that's important to you, because we can't keep doing it the way we're doing it unless we get some extra hands. So thank you in advance for that. And let me mention, first-time volunteers get a 25% off certificate for the bookstore. So that's a little incentive. So there you go. The other great way to start service here is by being a greeter usher. And if that's something that you're interested in, it's like a once a month, maybe once every 6 weeks. And we're having a little meeting after the service next Sunday. We're going to do a little training. We're going to talk about some safety things that are important for our Sunday service people to be aware of. So that's next Sunday during the service. If you're interested in helping us in that way, come and join us. And Alice wants me to mention that the monthly $25 raffle in honor of our 100th anniversary is going to happen this afternoon, so you can still get your name in today for the raffle. She'll be drawing that later, and we'll announce the winner next week, and then we'll start a new raffle for the month of February. And this is a little out of context, but I have a lady who's been messaging me who has a baby grand piano that she is looking for a loving home for. So if this is something that you would like to consider, okay, well, talk to me after the service. Okay, so yeah, we have a taker. Awesome. Yeah, I knew if I put it out there, right? You just got to put it out there. All right, so this is the time where we welcome anyone who's with us for the first time. And if this is your first time with us, we are so glad you're here. I have a welcome packet somewhere. It's not here. Okay, here's my ushers. They're holding up the welcome packets now. If you did not get one when you came in today, raise your hand. They're going to put one in your hands right now. There is a yellow card on the back, and we would love for you to fill that out. If your handwriting's not so great, you can use the QR code that's available there as well. If you're watching at home virtually with us, welcome. You can use that QR code. This gets you on our mailing list. And there's a lot going on right now, and we know that you want to know what's happening. And as I talked about service, there's also a list of all of our service ministry teams on the back. If you have something of interest, check that box. Somebody will get in touch with you. We do invite you downstairs for coffee and connection following the service. We'd love to get to know you. And if you'll put that little red rose sticker on your name tag, we'll know who you are, and we can give you a nice warm welcome. We're glad you're here. Have a wonderful week, folks. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Beth. We are so blessed by all of the people that come in and serve at Unity Spiritual Center of Portland as we gather. I want to take a moment and welcome all of you who are here for the first time, or it might be your second time or your third time, and you're just still saying, I wonder what this language is. I wonder what happens here. Do they really believe what they say? What happens? And I just want you to know that if these ideas work for you, I would encourage you to become a part. It's so important right now to find our place to anchor and to continue to show up and be a part of community, where so much of this growth and learning how we come together as a humanity that is awake to the truth of their being and able to touch the lives around them we have to do it in community. Sometimes we say, can I just do it myself and be right here? And anybody notice it doesn't work that way? All that does is isolate us. So it's really important. If these ideas don't work for you, or it's not clicking, it's not where you need to be, I would encourage you to continue seeking, but to find a place that knows who you are, that reinforces and reminds you and is supporting an awakening world, and that works for you. So we're just thrilled to have you here. We are going to stand now and sing.
We are.
You belong.
Yeah. You belong. 1, 2, 3, You belong. You're in my heart. You belong. You're in my life. You belong. You're in my
yes, and I just invite you to turn to those around you with a handshake, with a namaste, with a welcome. I see the light in you. You know, so often when we gather, in fact, I just heard somebody say the music stopped, return to your chair. Thank you, Mark. I believe some of the most important work we do happens when one person looks in another person's eyes and said hello. That act of just connecting with another human being eye to eye and recognizing we're all on this sacred journey. We're all just walking each other home, even when we don't know if the ground is steady or firm or where we want it to be. This is the sacred journey. This is the unfolding and the eternal invitation. In just a moment, we're going to spend a little bit of time in meditation, and we do that here for a small amount of time because of the importance of remembering in our individual lives right now, getting quiet, remembering that this infinite presence and power is our source. It birthed us in original blessing, and that we are whole, infinite, and complete is part of the moving through this journey. So I just invite you to listen to this music and open your heart in that inner knowing.
Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive. In me. I am alive. Spirit is alive in me. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me.
Continuing that inward journey, relaxing our minds, our bodies, letting go and allowing that vibration of knowing that we know that we know I am alive in spirit. And spirit is alive in me. The cellular vibration of infinite intelligence moves within me now. I am alive in this intelligence, in this light, in this presence and power. And as I breathe in pure spirit, I recognize I am spirit. I am that I am resides within me, eternally filling me. And I simply rest in the silence, knowing I am that I am in the silence. And as my being remembers with a cellular remembering that the divine intelligence vibrates as me now, I experience an awakening, a falling away of the old, and an awakening to the higher knowing. I am, we are, life is. And I find joy in every breath, in every moment. And so it is. Amen.
I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive. Spirit is alive in me. I am alive in spirit. Spirit is alive in me. I'm returning to that little girl who fell off her bike, got right back up, and said, I'm okay, then rode away. I'm returning to the child that lost the game, whose first question was, when can we play again? I'm returning to that teenager whose heart was broken all at once. Then her mama said, you can't rush love anyway. I'm returning to the times that seemed like defeat was mine to believe, but in the end I heard this voice saying, no matter how lost or scared or worried, no matter what might have been so bad, when you feel trust that is a knowing, there in your heart your love will mend. No matter how long it takes to get there, sometimes you leave and have to bend. When you feel trust that is a knowing, there in your heart you return again. I can feel my heart made whole. I can feel my soul loving all it knows. I can feel my heart made whole. I can feel my soul loving all it knows. I can feel my heart made whole. I can feel my soul loving all it knows. I can feel my heart made whole. I can feel my soul loving all it knows. I'm returning to that little girl, returning to the child. I'm returning to that teenager. I'm returning to the times that seemed like defeat was mine to believe, but in the end I heard this voice saying, no matter how lost or scared or worried, no matter what might have been so bad, when you feel trust that is a knowing, there in your heart your love will mend. No matter how long it takes to get there, sometimes you leave and have to bend. When you feel trust that is a knowing, there in your heart you return again. When you feel trust that is a knowing, there in your heart you return again. Thanks. Mary Ellen.
Thank you, thank you. Wow, how beautiful. Thank you all. A heart opening. The return to a heart that's whole, the return to a love that reminds us of who we are. Wow, we've been in an interesting place this week. I call it rather like broken open. We're being broken open. We're being pulled apart. And all week I was like, what do I say? You know, so often I've said that my job is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. And I've thought, where does it come into afflicting the afflicted? But I really want us to look at some of what's happening to acknowledge some of it, and then to say, how do we respond? I don't have the answers, but I know that as humanity, we're being called into standing in the truth of who we are and finding ways that we can communicate and connect and cooperate and find a larger picture. And sometimes that's scary. And it's really easy to look out there and saying, that's crazy, and I agree with that, and this is wrong. But somewhere in there, I have to say, Spirit, what is it that you want me to know? What needs to be broken open in me that I can have the eyes and the ears and the understanding to stand where I need to be, allow to fall away what needs to fall away, and know that I have within me. I have the truth, I have the principle. I know that life is lived from the inside out, but how do I allow myself to go through this sacred journey and find more of the truth of who I am? That's where we are. And it's not, I don't in any way believe this is an easy journey. What I want to go back to is, what is the journey? And where do we find our balance in it? The journey home is part of it, because we're I believe, being called on a level we've never been called before, to accept that the presence and the power of the divine is within every being. And there's a lot of fight going on. You heard the bishop, many of you did, share her beautiful story. And that request, I believe, comes to all of us. Where are we journeying? What's happening? And how do we break it open? So I want to say that part of it, I know this, it happens in community. Much of the work we do gets to be inner work of who am I? And that's part of the spiritual practice. But more and more what I'm learning about and able to see is this breaking open happens together. Most of us thought, can't I just do it myself? It works so much easier. We can just write out the answers. We can try and know it for ourselves, and hopefully we can all walk individually then towards this higher knowing. Anybody plan on that? That's what New Thought was for a long time. It was, I can do it here. What's so interesting is there's material and information that talks about maybe that's what is the creation of this, is that we have to get rid of a very old mindset, and we have to allow ourselves to see with new eyes. I'm working, listening to, quite avidly, a woman, she's on Substack, Desiree B. Stevens. And her view, she's doing 100 days from the day of the inauguration of community. The first 10 are free, and then you get to decide if you want to continue it on. But she's talking about the breaking open of this power over versus power with mindset. That, by the way, didn't start with this country. It came here. Those that were enslaved, the serfs and others before we came here, that same mindset came over here. And it was a power over, and it was a structure. And looking at that structure and beginning to find out what does that mean to us means we were all raised in it, and we have to be the ones to break it open. So I want to share a little bit about that. Then I'm going to go into power versus force, and I am going to go into a little bit of the truth of who we are. But she says liberation is not an individual journey. It's a collective process. True freedom requires dismantling systems of oppression that thrive on division and isolation. Anybody have a desire to isolate this week? I found myself in a fetal, one person, that's good. I found myself in a fetal position on, I don't even know what day it was, and I just thought, I just need to pray and center and do what I need to do until I can get back to a place of breath, of knowing that I'm enough. I said yes to being alive during this time period, and pretty much if we're alive, we said yes. On a cellular level, we said yes to the journey, and we're required to be here. I love that. My 82-year-old cousin last night, she goes, I figure I'm part of it, so I might as well get meditating and listening and figuring out what part I am and what can I do. That's where we are. That's what we're beginning to learn. And she said, why is community essential to liberation work? And she said, it's a question that sits at the very heart of our shared journey, and the answer is as expansive as it is deeply personal. Community is the foundation of liberation, how we work with each other, how we see each other. Anybody trained to see the other? We're beginning to see there is no other. And yet we were also trained, live in this neighborhood and you'll be okay. And then there's a neighborhood over here and these people live over here. That was just part of what happened. That's a system that has to break open for us to have universal health care and education for every being that supports every being. And I don't believe these are political ideas. These are spiritual ideas. Is the divine within every being? And if so, both how do we allow it to be within ourselves? Because I asked the question, where do we draw our strength to walk through this breaking open? But I also need to look at, where was I caught in the middle of all of this? We're going into the idea of Brené Brown's book, The Gifts of Imperfection, because that's number one on that 15 pillars of this consciousness is perfectionism. We're so busy trying to be good enough that we try to be perfect, and that's where our concentration and energy goes. How much of your energy has gone to looking good for somebody else in your lifetime? Do you think we might have a little more energy for creating a world that works for all? These are the mindsets that we have to break open. And what Desiree is saying, and I'm astonished with what comes out. She said, we have to begin to build systems of accountability. Now, this is not competition where it says, you did it wrong, that's not right. That's not accountability. Accountability is beginning to show up and to say, I'm going to sit here in love. We don't agree. How do we hold a space for each other? Part of this idea of doing it in community is you didn't come to hurt alone. We've been taught to go alone and to separate. And this, right now, this chaos around us is designed to separate, to put people in despair and pain and suffering and fear, and then no, well, we don't have to worry about them because they're over there. So how do we allow ourselves to find a larger place? It's resilience comes, accountability, a space where we can challenge one another and hold each other in our shared values. How can I truly not run away when someone says, well, I don't like that? Anybody do that? We're working this morning. My two daughters come in, and I was like, I'm trying to meditate and hold this space. I have to know what to say. And I thought, boy, Lisa, that's really advanced thinking there. And both of them just said, they looked, and they're like, we just wanted to say hello, and we love you. And I realized, we've learned these places. And I just stopped, and I went up to Lauren, and I said, I love you too. I'm sorry. I'm just a little nervous. She goes, it's okay, Mom. We like you how you are. And I thought, oh, good. And here I am, holding this line. It's like we allow what's out there and our values and what we've been taught, those values. And they do have to fall away. Resilience comes in community. When we're sick or ill in this country, for some reason, we're often alone. Or we're alone as we get older. Those are all systems that didn't break away, that we haven't let go of. And so beginning to know them. Resources, the wisdom, skills, and energy of many combined to create something greater than any one person could achieve alone. It's just the combining together. And so part of what I believe is that we get to move forward and say, I'm a part. I am going to let go and begin educating ourselves in what are these pieces of and individualism is one of the mindsets. So one of the 15 mindsets that they say we have: perfectionism, comparison, the ability, looking at another and saying, are they above me or are they below me? Are they older than me, younger than me? Are they larger than me, smaller than me? Do they have more money? Do they have, that's all a mindset. You did not come to live that mindset, but you grew up in a society that had them. And some of us thought we might be getting really good at looking at some of them. I learned I'm in baby steps. But if we're here, what are we doing with our life and our journey and our time? I went back to power versus force, and you'll hear more about some of these mindsets and the individualism as we go along. But I went back to power versus force, David Hawkins, the hidden determinants of human behavior. Not that anyone needs to read this or work with it, and I'm really hoping I'm able to find this page, but I want us to look at the idea. His underlying theory is that power, which is spirit, always wins over force. Some of us have learned to use force in our world. If I just work hard enough, if I just do this, if I just do this, if I can just get in there, if I can just get that. Versus spirit, which is pure power. Now, again, like Martin Luther King said, it's a long arc. It doesn't mean it does it right away, but it always has through all of history. But I think this is interesting. The universe favors power. The universe holds its breath as we choose, instant by instant, which pathway to follow. For the universe, the very essence of life itself is highly conscious. Every act, thought, and choice adds to a permanent mosaic. Our decisions ripple through the universe of consciousness to affect the lives of all. Lest this idea be considered either merely mystical or fanciful, let us remember that that fundamental tenet of the new theoretical physics, everything in the universe is connected with everything else. And so the idea, force is a push, and power is a stillness. It is an underlying strength. And he said, the visible world is created from the invisible world, and thus it is therefore influenced by the future. Simply stated, powerful attractor patterns make us go strong, and weak patterns make us go weak. Some ideas are so weakening that merely holding them in mind makes a test subject unable to keep, and he was using kinesiology, unable to resist it all. Right now, we're being invited into mindsets that include fear and anxiety. And I'm not saying that that's, believe me, we're all going to go there. But I would invite you to say, how can I hold what's breaking open gently? Hold it gently. Recognize it. Some of this week, there were a couple times I was just like, wow, that one hurts. It doesn't feel good. I don't want a society that's created like that. But I realize I live in a society that has had levels and people who have privilege over others, and that means it has to break open on some level for us to survive in a sane way where we truly honor and create a world that works for all. So what are the tools we have to allow something more to be experienced and to be lived? How do we go through all of this? And I want to share, I wanted to do one more thing. For our purposes, it is really only necessary to recognize that power is that which makes you go strong. Force makes you go weak. Love, compassion, and forgiveness, which may by some be mistakenly thought of as submissive, are in fact profoundly empowering. Revenge, judgmentalism, and condemnation, on the other hand, inevitably make you go weak. Therefore, regardless of moral righteousness, it is a simple clinical fact that in the long run, the weak cannot prevail against the strong. That which is weak falls of its own accord. So he says this, all of the great teachers throughout history, the history of our species, have merely taught one thing over and over again in whatever language or whatever time. All have said simply, give up weak attractors for strong attractors. Give up fear, unforgiveness, the judgment of I'm better than you is still living in that mindset. I'm learning how to stand in who I am, because I know this, we're all going to be asked to stand in a belief system and in a knowing. And then we get to decide, what do I have in me? First of all, have I anchored a belief in who I am? And that can happen in an instant. We had somebody say, I heard that word, original blessing, and I realized it applied to me. What happens when we begin holding this space? I was born with a universe that loves me, that supports me, that believes in me, that knows the truth of my being, with a mindset that says, and so was everybody else. And so we stop that separating consciousness and we move into something larger. I believe that we are all going to be asked to stand in the highest truth we know when the world around us may be falling apart. Our egos require that there is a firm foundation around us, and it feels like a death when that breaks open. When my husband passed away and he chose death by suicide, I was told that while I was driving home from a hospice visit with a congregant. And I remember thinking, I'm dying. I'm absolutely dying. And I was so grateful for the teachings that my mother had required that we learn, which included, when it feels like a death, let it die. Because the truth of you is that you don't require another being. You don't require something else. We are individualized expression of this, meant to bond and walk together. But I realized that dying, and so I was able to just breathe and let that dying happen. I pulled over and I just kept feeling this falling away. We may be feeling that right now when you go through things. There may be things that literally are falling away. We're being called at this same time to let the old pain and suffering and unforgiveness and places we haven't believed in ourselves or believed in another, to let those go. We will find a larger part of ourselves. Last week we talked about the 12 powers, and Unity in the last 130 years has had a system for finding the divine in us and anchoring it. I grew up with it. I lived it. Every one of our kids. Our desire is that they know that God, the infinite, whatever you want to call it, lives within them and around them. And that means I recognize God as faith in me, and I have a divine idea, and I set the direction. When I can move myself from the fear and the pain and the hurt, which is normal, it's there. Don't run from it, but then begin to say, and I am faith. I believe, and then I have to say, what do I have faith in? When it sets a direction for me right now, I have faith that the divine is within me and that I am divinely guided to take the steps I am to take right now in each moment. So when it's time for me to act, my desire is that I'm clear enough and clean enough of some of the habits that we live in. And by one of the tendencies of living in a power over mindset is anxiety, shame, fear, and guilt. That is the mindset. Anybody spent some of their lifetime there? The liberation happens when we step over into the courage to know the truth of ourselves and then to stand with another, whether we understand what's happening or not. To stand together and say, I see it in you. So faith, we begin to set that direction. I have faith in the presence and power within me that I know what to do in this moment. We have the ability then for strength, and these are the two we talked about last week. Strength is literally this essence that holds that faith in place. Anybody lost? You walk out of here and it's like, oh, what did they say? I need it. I don't know where I am. We're being asked to just breathe in the largest we know and stand in it. And even if it falls away, go get where you need to be and allow it to move through you. This week I wanted to talk about two others. And they use this system, by the way, kind of like when you start up a car, all the cylinders on an engine And they used to have 12-cylinder automobiles. One of the old Unity ministers, I heard him talking about this he was an instructor at Unity Village, and he talked about starting up to 12 cylinders. And it takes the most energy to start it up. It takes a lot of energy to move from I'm not enough and I don't have the ability to do these things and I'm weak or I'm not this or that, to move to a place where I recognize God in me. The divine life, the presence and the power expresses every day. And these are some of the ways. And so we move into faith, and then we move into strength and standing in that. And then we move into what he considered two more of the most important cylinders, which are love and wisdom. And by the way, it was considered, don't try love without wisdom. Anybody done that? We run into walls. We think, in the name of love, I'm going to do this. The truth is, the divine essence of the universe is love. The very energy that we vibrate in is love. And we're called to live in that love. And we have that love within us. They know that the intelligence, the fifth intelligence center in your body is in your heart. They know it. We get to learn to live in it. And that means for ourselves, for humanity, there are times when I don't have an answer to some of the things in my life or in the world. But I know this. I am love. The spirit of the universe is within me. And I can stand in that knowing. And I will grow and we will grow. What I know for every one of us in this room is that you are the love of the universe. And I believe we're seeking to find ourselves as that. And right now, the throwing open. Who cares who did what to us whenever? We can let that go and say, I am a creation. And we add, I'm a creation of the infinite. I'm a creation of love. And we add wisdom because we say, what is mine to do now? Martin Luther King used to tell people as they went out on their marches, and marches are not against holding love. But he said, get yourself out of the hate, and you're facing some of the people who did this to you. And get yourself out of the fear, because you won't make it through. Get yourself to the place of a love, and stand in that strength and do not be moved. And I just invite all of us to know right now, I believe our standing is throwing out the old, loving ourselves and our being, and for some reason, this life journey, and saying, I am that I am right here. I see the I am that you are and that you are and that you are. And together, we rise and we walk and we love. Thank you.
Quick announcement. I had a neighbor call on Stark Street, and there's a red Tacoma pickup that's blocking their driveway, 934 NRG. If that's you, if you wouldn't mind taking a moment and moving your truck, thanks.
All right. As we continue to learn how to be community, I thought you had to be perfect first, and then you move into community. What I'm realizing, and this is in our families, this is in every place we are, it's not about perfection, it's about showing up. And that's what's required. In just a moment, as we receive our tithes and our love offerings, I just invite you into an awareness that these old mindsets, that we're willing to let them go. You know, one of my ongoing prayers is this one that includes heal all that which needs to be healed, reveal all that needs to be revealed. I am open and receptive to all that I am to know. And that ability to hold that space and to be in that space is so important. I'd invite you, if you'd like to look at different ways to give, there is a white card in the seats in front of you. If you I believe there's one up here also if you can't get that, but I just invite you to be a part of this community and who we are and how we move forward. We're so grateful for all of the people that are a part in so many different ways. And I believe that the consciousness we live and that we express begins to create a worldwide consciousness. I know that's what we're here to do. I don't know where, how, the answers. All I know is that the presence is there. And one of the lies we're told we have believed as a society is the lie of scarcity. Part of breathing that in, if you haven't read The Soul of Money by, Lynn Twist, I would invite you to do so. That is her, as she worked with the Hunger Project for years. She realized the biggest lie humanity has believed is there isn't enough, and it's simply not enough because of the mindset of power over versus power with. And so as we're a part of giving, we're a part of creating a new consciousness. We don't even have to know what it is. We just have to be open and receptive. Our blessing, hopefully, is behind me also, and I just invite you to hold it with me and to take this with us. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is.
I've had so many doubts along the way. Felt like life was just another bill to pay without anything to show. But now I figured out that every day my fortune's always found within my faith. And all I needed was to let it flow. 'Cause there's no walls around me, only fear has truly bound me. And all I need to trust, and I am free. I'm sitting on a gold mine. I'm sitting on a gold mine. My treasure has been right here all the time. I'm sitting on a gold mine. Finally, I'm breaking through so many lies. All those people telling me to run and hide from the truth of what I am. But now I'm telling you, the future's bright. Tomorrow shines like diamonds in the sky. And all I needed was to understand that whatever I'm believing, well, that's what I'm receiving from the riches that reside inside of me. I'm sitting on a gold mine, yeah, yeah. I'm sitting on a gold mine. My treasure has been right here all the time. I'm sitting on a gold mine. We're sitting on a gold mine, yeah. Oh, we're sitting on a gold mine. Our treasures have been right here all the time. We're sitting on a gold mine. Oh, yeah. We're sitting on a gold mine. We're sitting on a gold mine. Sitting on a gold mine.
Thank you, thank you. All right, in just a minute, we're going to sing our youth hymn. I wanted to share with you, I will not be here for the next 2 Sundays. I am looking forward to us having Sharon Mitchell join us the first Sunday. She is our wisdom being who both taught CAST and was the main essence in our Ending the Systems of Racism classes. So Sharon will be here next week sharing with you her travel with the divine and anchoring herself in God. And then we will continue with the 12 powers. Annette Boswell is sharing the ideas coming from divine audacity, having the audacity to know we have the power within us. And so I just invite you to be a part of holding that space and connecting with beings around you. In just a moment, our youth are going to come in. They have these divine ideas within them, every one of them. They are filling with the essence of God. So as they come in, I just invite you to create an energy field of love into which they walk, and their beings, their hearts know that they are seen as whole, infinite creations.
You are the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You're the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you. You're the star of the morning. You are heaven smiling at us. You're God's gift of tomorrow. Oh, how we love you. Oh, how we love you.
All right, do we have anybody designated? I'm looking at Max and Sahel as part of it.
Hello, everyone. So today Barbara wasn't here, so we hung out with these guys, and we did a few activities all together. So I'll hand it to.
And also we did this race where we put a rock in our shoe and then we went as fast as we could and high-fived someone's hand once we got back. And
Sahel, why don't you share with us, tell me more about the rock and the shoe.
We did exactly what she said, and then after we took the rock out of our shoe to make sure it represented how if we have something negative happen during our week and we take a time to reflect and put something positive in our lives and take the rock out of our shoe, then we feel more happy and more comfortable, right?
we also decorated rocks to do that something that would make you feel better and something that would make you feel a little bit mad. And we all of us decorated a rock, and then we just decorated maybe pieces of paper, and then we did a circle and shared what a rock was.
Anybody have their rock? All right. So quite a few of our youth ed people are in a weekend event, and Barbara was actually leading it. And so I think there's 45 people from around the region who are gathering together somewhere in Washington and really going over what's the work we're doing, what's the sacred work, and what a gift. So thank you for all who are here. Does anybody else have anything to share? All right, what would you like to... We'll get it. We got to hear you last week. I'm so grateful. We'll get to hear you. What was your good thing on your rock?
His name is Mr. Doofles, and he's representing, let me think. Oh yeah, magic, and pretty fun video games.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Orson, and this is Bob. He represents being thankful for things, and he has something to say.
I am Bob.
I'm so glad we got to meet Bob. Okay, and we are inviting all of you downstairs after the service for Connection Hour as we spend time together. And I would invite you, we have name tags on because my intention is that before we leave, we learn the name of someone we didn't know before and say, hello, I'm glad to walk this journey with you. We're going to stand and join hands, or if you want, and sing Let There Be Peace on Earth and Let It Begin With Me.
Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. But God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it
Oh, yes. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. Let's close with our unity prayer. Whoops, I'm standing on someone. Excuse me. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And they stamp to make it firm. So just know that is a firmly held belief, and we're going to sing our youth out.
I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that spirit is all I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. I'm gonna move to the light. I'm gonna speak of the light. I'm gonna sing with the light. I'm gonna dance in the light. When I choose to remember that spirit is all I rejoice and give praise and shine in the light. When I choose